I woke up because the house was too quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The kind of quiet that means something has already happened. For a moment, I stayed still in bed, listening. No footsteps, no radio from the kitchen, no clatter of dishes the way my daughter always made when she was helping. Just silence. And then I noticed the zipper. It was right beside the bed. My suitcase. Open. My heart began to pound before my mind caught up. I sat up slowly, my joints protesting, and looked down. My clothes were folded inside. Neatly, too neatly. My sweaters, my nightgowns, even my good scarf, the one I only wore to church and funerals. I hadn't touched that suitcase in years. I hadn't planned to. I swung my legs over the side of the bed and stood, gripping the dresser for balance. That's when I saw what was missing. The photo frames. Gone. The drawer where I kept my documents. Half open. Empty. I walked into the hallway. The door to my bedroom stood wide open, as if privacy had officially expired. At the end of the hall, light spilled from the kitchen. My daughter stood at the counter, pouring coffee, calm, unhurried, like someone who had already made all the decisions that mattered. "You're awake," she said without turning around. "Yes," I replied. "Why is my suitcase packed?" She sighed. Not surprised, not guilty, just inconvenienced. "Mum," she said gently, "we talked about this." "No," I said. "We didn't." She turned then, mug in hand, and smiled the way people do when they think you're fragile. "You don't remember," she said. "But we agreed it would be easier this way." Easier, a word that always means harder for someone else. "I went to sleep in my own bed," I said. "I didn't agree to leave it." She took a sip of coffee. "You've been struggling," she replied. "We can't ignore that." I looked past her. The kitchen felt different, bare. The chair I always sat in was pushed back, as if already vacant. "Where am I going?" I asked. She hesitated. "Just long enough." "We'll figure that out," she said. "For now, you'll stay somewhere. Appropriate." Appropriate. Another dangerous word. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "You packed my things while I was sleeping," I said slowly. She shrugged. "I didn't want to upset you." I laughed. It came out thin and sharp. "You thought doing it without asking would be kinder." She set the mug down. "Mom," she said firmly, "this is for your own good." That was when I understood. This wasn't a conversation. It was a conclusion. I looked back at the suitcase, at my life folded down to what someone else thought I needed. "What time did you decide this?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. Then, "Late last night, while I slept." I nodded slowly. Not because I agreed, but because I knew something she didn't. She thought packing my suitcase meant the story was over. She didn't know it had already started. She didn't answer my question right away. That was how I knew she'd rehearsed this. "Where am I going?" I asked again. She walked to the sink and rinsed her mug, buying time with water and porcelain. "There's a facility," she said finally. "Just temporary." Temporary is a word people use when they don't want to say indefinite. "A facility," I repeated. "What kind?" She turned the tap off and faced me, arms folded the way they always were when she felt justified. "Assisted living," she said. "Close by. Clean. Safe." I waited. She didn't add voluntary. "I didn't visit any facility," I said. "I didn't sign anything." "You didn't need to," she replied. "I'm your daughter." That sentence landed harder than any insult. "So you decided," I said. She nodded once. Confident. "Yes." I walked back into the bedroom and sat on the edge of the bed. The sheets were still warm from my body. The suitcase waited on the floor, like a quiet threat. "How long have you been planning this?" I asked. She leaned against the doorframe. "A while," she said. "After the fall." The fall. 6 weeks earlier, I'd slipped in the garden and bruised my hip. I hadn't broken anything. I hadn't gone to the hospital. I'd healed. But something else had changed. "You started watching me," I said. She didn't deny it. "You forget things," she said. "You leave the stove on." "I left it on once," I replied. "You've forgotten your phone at my house a dozen times." "That's different," she said quickly. "Why?" I asked. She opened her mouth, closed it, then said the truth by accident. "Because you're old." There it was, clean, simple, undeniable. I nodded slowly. "And when did you decide to pack my things?" "Last night," she said, "after you went to bed." "Did you go through my drawers?" I asked. "Yes." "My documents?" She hesitated. "Yes." I stood up. "You didn't just pack a suitcase," I said. "You searched my life." She bristled. "I was making sure everything was ready." "For what?" I asked. She sighed, frustrated now. "For when you can't manage anymore." That word again. When, not if. "And what happens to the house?" I asked quietly. She looked at me for a long moment, then smiled. That same smile. "I'll take care of it," she said. "You won't have to worry." I felt something settle inside me. Not fear, clarity. "You've already talked to someone about this," I said. She didn't answer. "You've already made calls," I continued. "Visited places, asked questions." She crossed her arms. I had to be prepared. Prepared. That word again. I walked to the window and looked out at the yard. My roses were blooming. The ones I planted after my husband died. They didn't look temporary. "Who else knows?" I asked. She shifted. "Your brother," she said. "He agrees." That hurt more than anything else. "I see," I said. There was a knock at the door. Sharp. Professional. My daughter checked her watch. "That'll be the car," she said. "We need to go." I turned to her slowly. "You packed my suitcase while I was sleeping," I said. "You didn't ask. You didn't wait." She nodded. "I did what had to be done." I looked at her face, at the certainty, at the relief, and I understood something she hadn't considered. This plan only worked if I cooperated. And cooperation, once withdrawn, changes everything. "Give me 10 minutes, I said. She frowned. "For what?" "To get dressed," I replied, "and to make one phone call." She hesitated, then shrugged. "Fine," she said. "But don't make this harder than it needs to be." I picked up the phone and dialed a number she had never thought to check. I closed the bedroom door. Not to keep her out, to keep myself steady. My hands were shaking as I scrolled through my phone. Not from fear. Fear had already done its damage. This was something else. Focus. The kind that arrives when you understand you're standing at the edge of a decision that will define what comes next. I stopped at the name. Mr. Halverson. She had never asked who he was. That was her mistake. He answered on the second ring. "Mrs. Carter," he said warmly. "I was just thinking about you." "I need help," I said. "Right now." There was no pause. "Are you safe?" he asked. "Yes," I replied. "But I'm being moved without my consent." "By whom?" he asked. "My daughter," I said. "She packed my suitcase while I was sleeping." Silence. Then, "Put her on the line." I opened the door and handed her the phone. "Someone wants to speak with you," I said. She frowned, annoyed, but took it. "Yes?" she said. "Who is this?" I watched her expression change. Confusion first, then irritation, then something close to alarm. "No," she said. I'm handling this. Pause. I don't see why. Another pause. Her face went pale. She handed the phone back to me without a word. Mr. Halverson's voice was calm. I've informed her, he said, that you are not leaving this house today, or any day, not without your written consent. I exhaled slowly. Who is he? My daughter demanded once I hung up. My attorney, I replied. The one who holds my medical and housing directives. She stared at me. You never told me about that. I wasn't required to, I said. She crossed her arms. This is ridiculous, she snapped. You're not thinking clearly. I met her eyes. I was thinking clearly when I signed those papers, I said. Long before last night, there was another knock at the door. Not the car this time. A man in a blazer stood on the porch, holding a clipboard. Mrs. Carter? He asked. Yes, I replied. I'm with Adult Protective Services, he said. We received a call expressing concern about a potential non-consensual relocation. I didn't look at my daughter. I didn't need to. He stepped inside, professional and polite. Can you tell me, he asked gently, whether you wish to leave your home today? No, I said clearly. Did you authorize your belongings to be packed while you slept? He asked. No, I said again. He nodded and wrote something down. Then he turned to my daughter. Ma'am, he said, until further review, you are not permitted to remove your mother from this residence. Her mouth opened, closed. This is unbelievable, she said. I was trying to help. He nodded. That will be assessed, he replied. But help requires consent. The car outside drove away. The suitcase stayed where it was. After he left, the house felt different. Not tense, protected. My daughter stood in the kitchen, arms at her sides now. This isn't over, she said quietly. I looked at her and felt something unexpected. Not anger, distance. No, I said. It's just no longer yours to finish. She left without another word. The door closed softly behind her. I walked back into my bedroom and zipped the suitcase shut myself. Not to leave. To reclaim it. Then I put it back in the closet. Out of sight. Because whatever my daughter thought she'd decided in the dark, the ending was still mine to write. The house didn't feel the same after she left. Not unsafe. Exposed. Like drawers left open after a search you didn't authorize. I walked through the room slowly, touching things the way you do when you're checking that something is still real. The coat rack by the door, the bookshelf in the hallway, the small table where I always drop my keys. That's when I noticed it. A faint rectangle on the wall. Lighter than the rest of the paint. Something had been taken down. I stood there a moment, trying to remember what had hung there. Then it came back. The framed floor plan. The one my husband had drawn years ago when we talked about remodeling the kitchen. Why would that be gone? I went to the study. The filing cabinet was unlocked. I never left it unlocked. Inside, folders were out of order. Some pushed back too neatly, as if someone had tried to recreate a mess they didn't understand. And one folder was missing entirely. Property and planning. My stomach tightened. This hadn't started last night. The suitcase was just the final act. My phone buzzed. A message from my son. Can we talk? Just us. I stared at it for a long time before answering. Come by this afternoon, I wrote. Alone. He arrived quietly, like someone entering a room where the rules had changed. He didn't hug me, didn't apologize right away. He looked tired. She didn't mean to hurt you, he said finally. That's not what I asked you here for, I replied. He nodded. How long? I asked. He looked down at his hand. Since the fall, he said. At first. At first, I repeated. He swallowed. Then, longer, he admitted. I waited. Silence has a way of pulling truth out when you don't interrupt it. She started talking about transitioning you, he continued. Said it would be easier if it happened gradually. Easier for whom? I asked. He didn't answer. She already toured places, he added. Twice, before she told you. I closed my eyes. So that's why she'd known the word facility so easily. And the house? I asked. He hesitated. She talked to a realtor, he said. Just to see options. I nodded slowly. And the folder? I asked. He looked up, surprised. What folder? The one that's missing? I said. Property and planning. His face changed, just slightly. She took it, he said. Said it was safer if she kept it. Safer. Another word that meant away from me. I stood up. Go, I said. He blinked. What? Go, I repeated. I need the house quiet. He didn't argue. That told me more than any confession. After he left, I sat at the desk and made a list. Not of accusations, of actions. What she'd accessed, what she'd copied, what she'd assumed she could decide. Then I called Mr. Halverson again. I need to know exactly what she can and cannot touch, I said. He didn't hesitate. She has no authority, he replied. But we should formalize that. How? I asked. By removing ambiguity, he said, and by documenting intent. That evening, I signed a new document. Not dramatic, not punitive, clear. No relocation without my written consent. No access to property documents without supervision. No decision-making authority granted by assumption. I placed the document back in the cabinet, locked it, and put the key around my neck. That night, I slept lightly, but without fear, because I finally understood something. This wasn't about my daughter thinking I was weak. It was about her being impatient, and impatience makes people sloppy. She thought packing my suitcase meant the plan was finished. What she didn't know was that I'd just seen the blueprint. The folder came back 3 days later, not quietly, not returned by hand. It arrived in a courier envelope, sealed, unsigned, like evidence someone hoped would speak for itself. I didn't open it right away. I made tea first. That's how I knew I was no longer reacting. I was choosing. Inside the envelope was everything I expected, and more than I hoped. Copies of my deed, notes from a realtor, highlighted listings, and a single page, folded separately, a handwritten timeline. Phase 1, assisted living, temporary. Phase 2, sell house while vacant. Phase 3, reinvest proceeds for mom's care. I read it twice, then once more. There it was, not confusion, not concern. A plan. At the bottom of the page was a note in my daughter's handwriting. She'll resist at first, but she'll adjust. I didn't cry. I felt something colder. Precision. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Mrs. Carter, a woman asked. This is Elaine from Willow and Finch Realty. I'm calling to follow up on our recent conversation. I smiled faintly. You haven't spoken to me, I said. There was a pause. Oh, she replied. I was told that I was unavailable, I finished. Yes, that seems to be a pattern. She hesitated. I'm sorry, she said. Your daughter represented herself as acting on your behalf. She wasn't, I replied. And now you know. I hung up and immediately called Mr. Halverson. They contacted a realtor, I said. I know, he replied. I received the inquiry. I closed my eyes. How bad? I asked. Bad enough to require correction, he said. But not too late. Correction came fast. Cease and desist letters, formal notices, clear boundaries delivered by registered mail. By the end of the day, the realtor withdrew. The listing was cancelled before it existed, and my daughter received something she hadn't expected. A paper trail. She showed up that evening. Not angry, careful. You went too far, she said quietly. I sat across from her at the table. So did you, I replied. I was trying to protect you, she said. By erasing me? I asked. She flinched. You don't understand how hard this is, she said. Watching you get older. I nodded. You don't understand how hard it is, I said. To be treated like you've already left. She looked down. For the first time, she didn't argue. There are consequences now, I continued. Not because I want to punish you, but because plans made without consent don't disappear quietly. She swallowed. What kind of consequences? She asked. I slid the folder across the table. These, I said. And the people who now know. She didn't touch it. That night, I slept deeply. Not because it was over, but because it was visible. Plans thrive in darkness. She'd brought hers into the light. And light changes things. I didn't intend for it to become public. Public things are messy. They attract opinions instead of understanding. But once professionals are involved, stories stop belonging to families. They belong to records. It started with a phone call from the realtor's office. Not the agent who'd spoken to me before, her supervisor. He was polite, careful, thorough. We're conducting an internal review, he said. There were representations made on your behalf that shouldn't have been. I agree, I replied. He asked questions. Who contacted them? What authority was claimed? Whether any documents were presented? I answered honestly. That's all I had to do. 2 days later, a letter arrived. An apology. Formal. Uncomfortable. Necessary. My daughter received a copy. So did my son. And that was when the tone changed. She stopped insisting she was right. She started insisting this stay quiet. You didn't have to involve outsiders, she said over the phone. This could have stayed between us. I leaned back in my chair. You packed my suitcase while I was sleeping, I replied. You made it other people's business. She exhaled sharply. You're making me look bad. No, I said. I'm letting your actions speak without editing. That same week, Adult Protective Services followed up. Routine, they said. But routines have consequences. The caseworker sat at my kitchen table, the same place my daughter had once spread brochures for places I never agreed to see. Do you feel safe here? She asked. Yes, I said. Now? Do you feel pressured to leave? She asked. Not anymore, I replied. She nodded and wrote something down. My daughter wasn't present for that conversation. That mattered too. The neighbors began asking questions, not gossiping, concerned. I saw a moving van that never came, one said. Are you all right? Another asked. I smiled and thanked them. I didn't explain. I didn't need to. My son came by that evening. He didn't sit down. I didn't know it would go this far, he said. It only went as far as it had to, I replied. He looked tired. She's angry, he said. Scared. So was I answered. That didn't stop her. He nodded slowly. I won't speak for her anymore, he said. That's wise, I replied. That night, my phone buzzed with a message from someone I didn't expect. A woman I barely knew. A friend of a friend. I heard what happened to you. My mother is in a similar situation. Can I ask you something? I stared at the message, then typed back one sentence. Yes. I realized then that this story wasn't just about me anymore. It was about how easily care turns into control. How often people assume age cancels agency. I stood in the living room and looked at the suitcase still tucked away in the closet. Packed, silent, defeated. She thought it meant I was ready to go. What it really meant was that I'd seen the plan. And plans don't survive once they're known. The request didn't come from my daughter. That surprised me. It came from my son. He called on a Sunday afternoon, his voice quieter than usual. "She wants to meet," he said. "Neutral place. No lawyers. Just talk." I didn't answer right away. I was sitting in the living room, the window open, the sound of a lawnmower somewhere down the street. Ordinary life, continuing without waiting for my permission. "I'm not opposed to conversation," I said finally. "I'm opposed to pressure." "I know," he replied. I told her that mattered. We chose a cafe 2 blocks from my house. Public, bright, no corners to hide in. She was already there when I arrived, sitting stiffly with a cup of tea she hadn't touched. She looked smaller, not weaker, exposed. "I didn't think it would go this way," she said before I'd even sat down. "That's because you didn't ask me," I replied. She winced. "I was trying to help," she said again. "I know," I answered. "But help that ignores consent becomes something else." She stared at the table. "You don't trust me anymore," she said. "That's not entirely true," I replied. "I trust you to act in your own interest. I no longer confuse that with mine." She looked up sharply. "That's not fair." "No," I said calmly. "It's accurate." There was a long silence. People around us laughed, talked, lived. No one noticed us unraveling quietly. "I thought if I handled everything," she said, "you wouldn't have to worry." I leaned back. "When you packed my suitcase," I said, "you weren't relieving me of worry. You were removing me from the equation." Her eyes filled just a little. "That wasn't my intention." "Intent doesn't erase impact," I replied. She nodded slowly. "What do you want now?" she asked. I considered that carefully. "I want honesty," I said. "And distance that respects it." She frowned. "Distance?" "Yes," I said. "Access to my life is not automatic anymore." My son shifted uncomfortably. "I don't want to lose you," he said quietly. "You won't," I replied. "But you will have to knock." We didn't hug when we left. That felt right. That evening, I wrote something new. Not a legal document, a personal one. Rules for my life. Going forward. No decisions made without my knowledge. No plans discussed as if I'm absent. No help that begins with secrecy. No access without invitation. I didn't send it to anyone. I didn't need to. I lived it. The next day, my daughter returned the house keys. No note, just the keys. That told me enough. I placed them in a drawer, not locked away, contained. That night, I slept without listening for footsteps, without bracing for decisions made while I dreamed. I understood something then. Reclaiming your life doesn't require confrontation. It requires consistency. And the final decision, the one she would never expect, was already forming. The suitcase stayed in the closet. I didn't move it. I didn't unpack it. I let it sit there, zipped and silent, until it stopped feeling like a threat and started feeling like a relic, proof of something that had failed. I called Mr. Halverson on a Wednesday morning. "I want to talk about the house," I said. He didn't rush me. "Tell me what you want it to do," he replied. Not who should get it. Not how much it was worth. What it should do. I thought about that all day, about the way the house had been treated like a prize, a solution, a shortcut, never as a place where a life was still happening. By evening, I knew. When I met with him, I didn't bring anger, I brought intention. I don't want the house to be leverage, I said, or a bargaining chip, or a reward for patience. He nodded slowly. You want permanence, he said. I want protection, I corrected. For as long as I'm here, and clarity after. We drafted it carefully. No drama, no punishment. The house would remain in a trust. I would be the sole lifetime resident. No sale, no relocation, no temporary solutions. And after me, stewardship, not inheritance. When I signed, my hand didn't shake. That surprised me. I didn't tell my daughter right away. I didn't owe her that urgency. But news travels in families like this. It always does. She called 2 days later. Her voice was tight. You changed something, she said. Yes, I replied. What did you do? She asked. I made sure no one could pack my suitcase again, I said. She was quiet for a long time. You're shutting us out, she finally said. I closed my eyes. No, I replied. I'm shutting the door on assumptions. That night, I went into the bedroom and opened the closet. I pulled the suitcase out, unzipped it, folded each item back into its place. Not angrily, carefully. When it was empty, I left it open on the floor. No longer packed, no longer ready. The house felt different after that. Not defensive, settled. The next morning, my son stopped by with fresh bread. He didn't ask questions. He didn't comment on the trust. He just said, "Good morning," and waited for an answer. I smiled. You can stay for coffee, I said. He nodded. Thank you. I realized then that control always announces itself loudly. But respect waits. The suitcase never went back into the closet. I donated it a week later. Someone else could use it for a journey they actually chose. And the house? The house finally stopped feeling like something I had to guard. It felt like something I had claimed. She didn't call first. That alone told me everything. I was watering the plants on the back porch when I heard the gate open. The sound was familiar, too familiar. It carried the same confidence it always had, like permission assumed rather than granted. I turned slowly. My daughter stood there holding a folder. Not thick, not thin, just enough to pretend this was still a conversation. I need 5 minutes, she said. You should have asked, I replied. She took a step forward anyway. I'm asking now. I considered it, then nodded once. 5, I said. We sat at the kitchen table, the same place she had once spread brochures and spoken about my life as if it were already behind me. She slid the folder toward me. I spoke to someone, she said. A mediator? They think this situation has gotten out of hand. I didn't touch the folder. It was out of hand the night you packed my suitcase, I said. She exhaled. I was scared, she said. I thought if I didn't act, something bad would happen. You acted because you were afraid of losing control, I replied. Not because I was in danger, she stiffened. That's not fair. It doesn't have to be, I said. It just has to be true. She opened the folder herself. Inside were printed emails, notes, a proposed schedule. I'm willing to compromise, she said. Visits, check-ins, shared decisions. I looked at the paper. Shared decisions. After secrecy, after packing my life into a suitcase while I slept, I already compromised, I said. By surviving that night without breaking something I can't repair. Her eyes filled. "I'm your daughter," she said. "You can't just push me out." I met her gaze. "I didn't push," I said. I stepped back. Silence stretched between us. Not hostile, final. She closed the folder slowly. "So that's it?" she asked. I nodded. "That's the shape of things now." She stood, paused. "I never thought you'd do this," she said quietly. I folded my hands on the table. "I never thought you'd pack my suitcase," I replied. She left without another word. The gate closed. The house breathed out. I sat there for a long time, afterward. Not shaking, not relieved, just present. That's how I knew the boundary would hold. That night, I wrote one last note. Not for her, for myself. Control mistakes, silence for permission. Respect waits to be invited. I placed the note in the drawer with the key she'd returned, then closed it. The story didn't end with reconciliation. It ended with alignment, and that was enough. The morning after she left, I woke up slowly. Not because my body demanded it, but because nothing else did. No schedule waiting, no plans hovering, no decisions being made somewhere else while I slept. I made breakfast and ate it at the table, sunlight warming the same chair my daughter once pushed back as if it were already empty. It wasn't. Neither was I. The house felt complete in a way I hadn't noticed before. Not full, settled. I called Mr. Halverson later that day. "It's done," I said. "Yes," he replied. "It is. No more documents. No revisions. No emergency clauses. Just a life continuing under its own authority." I spent the afternoon doing small things. Replanting a rose, rearranging a shelf, throwing out old papers that no longer held power. That evening, my son came by. He knocked, waited. When I opened the door, he didn't step inside until I stepped back. "Dinner?" he asked. I smiled. "Yes," I said. "You can stay." We ate quietly, comfortably, not pretending the past hadn't happened, but not letting it sit between us like an accusation. After he left, I stood in the bedroom and looked at the empty closet space where the suitcase used to be. It felt symbolic, but also practical. I didn't need a suitcase ready. I wasn't leaving. My daughter didn't call. That hurt, but not in the way she probably expected. It hurt like the last ache of a wound that's already closing. I understood something important then. Being loved doesn't mean being managed. Being cared for doesn't require surrender. My daughter packed my suitcase while I was sleeping. She thought that meant my story was finished. But stories don't end when someone else decides they're inconvenient. They end when the person living them chooses to stop. And I wasn't done. Not with the house. Not with my life. Not with myself.